After a dramatic river search for little Haley Cummings reaches a dead end, Misty's brother Tommy is screaming foul, claiming cops are stronging him into the general population. Tommy's lawyer is here in an Issues exclusive to complain about the cops' latest maneuvers. What's next? Will we ever know what happened to this little girl? Or has the trail gone cold? Jaw-dropping new developments in the spine-chilling case that shook the nation. Tommy Croslin is yanked out of protective custody and thrown into the general inmate population. Our cops trying to put the squeeze on him to get answers about 5-year-old Haley Cummings. Haley, of course, vanished into thin air in the dead of night from her Florida trailer home.
I got up because I had to use the bathroom, but I didn't make it to the bathroom. I seen the kitchen light on. And I walked in the kitchen and the back door is wide open. I mean, I didn't notice about Haley then until I seen the back door open. And then I go in and she's gone. And that's all I know. Is when I woke up, when I went to sleep, she was there. And then when I woke up, she was gone.
There's absolutely no sign of this precious child for more than a year. And then the case suddenly explodes. Cops begin furiously dragging the muddy waters of the St. Johns River, pulling up. You can see it right there, a large blue ice cooler, along with cinder blocks and rope, announcing they are no longer looking for a living child, saying Haley was murdered. Cops paraded Misty Croslin, of course, she's the teenager who was babysitting little Haley on the night she disappeared, around the search site. There she is in between the two investigators. They're grilling her on the banks of the river about Haley. They also brought Misty's brother, Tommy Croslin, down to the river. We thought for sure, within days, we'd have a solution, a resolution, closure, maybe Haley's tiny body, something. Then it all came to a screeching halt, a dead end. No body, no charges, no answers, just more questions. And tonight, breaking news. Tommy Croslin, that's Misty's brother, who is being held in jail on drug charges, as is Misty, making some stunning claims. Tommy says detectives are strong-arming him into talking. Are investigators threatening to charge Tommy with Haley's murder if he doesn't talk? That's what his attorney is saying. He joins us tonight on Issues. Straight out to my fantastic expert panel. But I want to begin with Jim Werter, Tommy's attorney, in an Issues exclusive. Jim, why are you and your client upset? What is it that you believe cops are threatening you with?
Well, the problem was last week when he was transported back to Putnam County from St. Johns County. I had no idea he was transported. Then a couple of days after he got there, he's pulled out of his cell for 2 hours and supposedly just to be interviewed regarding the Haley Cummings case, which he's not charged with. But he was, right away, he asked for my presence. He wanted his attorney present. They refused to grant that. They kept on questioning him. They made a number of threats to him. Various threats that you've seen in the motion, but yet he was not allowed to consult with me. Now, some people said that was an interview, but when you're held at custody and forcibly interrogated, that's not an interview, and you have a right to your Fifth Amendment rights.
Mike Brooks, you're the HLN law enforcement analyst. It does sound pretty odd if somebody says, I want my attorney here while I'm being grilled, that they don't provide the attorney.
Well, they should. I mean, personally, I don't have any sympathy for the guy. I mean, he's locked up for drugs, so, you know, but if he did ask for his attorney to be present, his attorney should be present. Is he allowed any phone calls at all, Jim, or is he to try to contact you, or are they not letting him do that either?
Well, no, initially there was some problems. I'm not sure if it was purposeful or not, but now he has free access to me from the phone, which is good because Putnam County is about an hour's drive from me, so we have regular access now on the phone.
Jim, you have joined us before here on Issues, and you said Tommy knows what happened to little Haley. Let's listen to what you had to say here on Issues. In other words, Tommy knows something, but you're saying he's not responsible, but he knows what happened?
Again, I will say, well, I will go with that, yes. I'm quite comfortable in you saying that.
Okay, so we're saying Tommy knows what happened, but he's not responsible.
Correct.
Do you believe, Jim, that cops are threatening to charge your client, Tommy Croslin, with Haley's murder?
Well, you know, the people that interrogated him was Putnam County Sheriff's Office that day last week. One of the lead investigators was actually Florida Department of Law Enforcement, who's been aiding Putnam County. They never uttered those kind of threats. This came out of someplace else. Now, Tommy has been voluntarily up until...
Whoa. What came out of someplace else? We're hearing that you're
of felony murder.
You're concerned that your client's going to be charged with murder.
No, I'm not really. I'm not concerned because he's not guilty of felony murder. He's done nothing that would warrant that kind of claim.
Well, what's the whole point of this strong-arm tactic? Yeah, it's a threatening tactic. What are they trying to get? If he knows what happened and he went down to the river and told them what he knows, then why are they threatening him?
Now, we covered this before about where the body might have been since it was dumped into that part of the river, and I don't really want to go over that because it is kind of gruesome. But the fact of the matter is, there's problems with this case as to charging the person that should be charged, and they're thinking there's something more, or there's inconsistencies between, minor inconsistencies between Tommy's story and Misty's story. But the fact of the matter is, now I've been through POW training, I've been a cop, I've studied these things as well. When you force someone to say something, odds are, just like in Gitmo, you're not going to get an accurate story. But he's been volunteering up until a couple of months ago, until everything just came to a halt. He went to FDL. Oh, well, I took him to FDLE.
Okay, well, I still don't understand exactly what you're saying. I was under the impression that you were afraid that they were threatening to do something else to your client.
No, I'm not afraid. No, I'm upset that they use these tactics in violation of his Fifth Amendment rights.
What's their point? What do they want?
They don't know what they want. They don't know what to believe or what to trust, So what can I tell you?
What kind of things were they asking them?
You know what? Rita Cosby, can you make heads or tails out of what's going on here?
I mean, it sounds to me that cops are hearing a lot of inconsistencies. And even Tommy's attorney just said that he described them as minor inconsistencies, but cops maybe don't see it as minor inconsistencies. Either way, they see something that's not jiving, it sounds like, with maybe something he said, something Misty said, and clearly they're trying to put some pressure on him to get information. I understand the attorney's point. If indeed they're using these tactics and doing to these extreme measures, that's not appropriate. You still have to act appropriately, and I understand his point if that's true. On the other hand, they're clearly seeing something that doesn't jive here, and they're going, wait a minute, what's wrong? Why is he not maybe telling the full story? What's not meshing?
It's a game of telephone, that's what it is. And I'll tell you, it all started with Tommy and Misty's grandmother, okay? And she was the one who said Tommy and Misty told her what happened the night Haley went missing on the phone. So let's listen to Grandma, because that's where it all started.
She said Joe Overstreet and Tommy wrapped the rope around Haley and carried her to the dock at the St. Johns River and put a block around the other end of the rope and throwed her in the river.
Mike Brooks, the grandmother you just heard from, is a very flamboyant character who said that she was told certain things by Tommy and Misty, and of course there's going to be inconsistencies because it's like a game of telephone with this senior citizen basically trying to interpret to police what her grandkids told her from behind bars.
What's to believe from Flora Hollers, Jane? We've had her on the show, and she's, but then all of a sudden, we don't hear a word from her. Is what she was saying totally wrong? Was she making this up just to get her 15 minutes of fame or more? Who knows? Who knows what to believe in this case? This cast of characters is just incredible.
And whatever happened, Jim, to the cousin Joe, who Misty and Tommy pointed the finger at, and he's in another state, and he has said he has nothing to do with it and that his cousins are trying to take him down. Whatever happened with all that?
He's still sitting up there in Tennessee, skinny and happy, just hanging out there, and he knows this is mired. And I need to ask Mike, isn't it your professional opinion as a law enforcement officer that different perspectives, how people see different scenes and events, vary?
Oh, they do, and that's the whole thing about eyewitness testimony. Is it credible, is it not?
Exactly.
So, there's a lot of questions in this case, Jim, and hopefully we'll get to the bottom of them one day.
Or we could be dealing with everybody is a pathological liar in this entire family, and that is why we can't figure out what's up and what's down and where little Haley is. Thank you, fantastic panel. Coming up, Casey Anthony Shockers. Speaking